Hi and welcome to today's video. Today I want to go through some more of the create features in Fusion 360. Last time we covered on extrude and a little bit of revolve, but there's so many more things out there that we can use. So this is literally going to be a video showing you what sketches you need and how these features work. Let's jump straight into Fusion. So here we are in Fusion, and what I'm going to concentrate today on is this create menu. So if you drop it down, you can see we've got extrude, revolve, sweep, loft and rib. I'm going to look at these ones today. We might even touch on hole. I'm not going to look so much at thread or web. I'll let you guys figure them ones out yourself. We might even get round to pattern and mirror as well if we have time. Depends how long the video is going to be. But again, we're not going to model anything kind of like in particular. We're just going to go through these features. So as we know, in Fusion you need to start with a sketch. So I'm going to start with a sketch on this plane here, and I am going to sketch just a circle, and I'm going to put it around the origin. Okay, and then I'm going to sketch another sketch, and I'm going to go on this plane here, which now makes my circle look like a line. But from the origin I'm going to start with a line, and then I'm going to go into a spline from there, and I'm just going to make this spline thing look a bit weird. Click the green tick, add some tangency to this point just so that it doesn't look too weird, and then finish. So when I spin this round, what we can see is we've got a circle and we've got a spline, and what I'm going to use is I'm going to use the sweep tool. So if we hit sweep, over here it says what type of sweep you've got. We're going to use a single path. You can use guide rails and stuff. It changes the shape, but you need more sketches. But we're just going to use single path. And for the profile, I am going to use the circle. And for the path, I am going to use the spline. And it says it would self-intersect because these things have so many rules. It's pretty unbelievable, to be honest. So if I just cancel that and I go back into my circle sketch and I make my circle diameter a little smaller, and then we try again. So let's go create, sweep, that's the profile, and that is the path. And you can see there we have swept our circle along that path. And of course if I go back into my sketch and I change the shape of it a bit and then finish the sketch, you can see that everything parametrically updates. You might want to use this if you're trying to simulate wire or cable in a model or an assembly. I don't know. I mean, I've been solid modeling now for a long time, and I very rarely use sweep for anything. I suppose you could use it for torsion springs and bars and stuff, but that's sweep if you ever want to see it. Let's just delete everything and let's talk about something else. So we're going to look now, not at hole, no, go away. We're going to look at loft. Now, as you can see from this little picture here, loft requires, again, two sketches. But it requires them to be a distance apart. Now, how are we going to do that? Because with our origin, we only get these three, and they're not parallel to each other. They're kind of like, you know, normal to each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by creating my first sketch here, and I'm going to make a circle. Okay. Somebody outside playing really loud music in their car. Excellent. Hopefully you can't hear that. Maybe you can. Terrifying. That'll be a copyright strike for no reason. And I'm going to anyway, digress. Anyway, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to create an offset plane from that original plane, and I'm going to offset it a distance of some. Again, you can put dimensions in, and now you can see I've got a plane which is kind of like a distance away from your circle. So if I sketch something on this new plane, again from the origin, doesn't have to be from the origin, but in this case it's going to be from the origin, and I'm going to use a polygon. And a polygon is literally going to be like that, six-sided, not quite square, not quite straight, whatever. And then we can go create, and we can go loft, and it'll say what is your first profile, that one. What is your second profile? That one. And you can see there it's got a whole bunch of dots on it. So it's trying to keep everything straight, but I can move these dots if I really want to make it look like a really bizarre shape. There we go. Click OK now, and we've got some kind of like twisted kind of weird thing going on. You may have seen like these really cool twisted 3D printed shapes. They're really easy to model. All you do is loft 2 or more profiles together, and then, yeah, you've guessed it, you shell it. You shell it with a really, really tiny wall thickness, and hey presto, we've got a twisted vase thing that you could 3D print, and all your friends would go, "Ooh, that's really cool." No, yeah, maybe 10 years ago. Anyway, that is Loft. I'll just get rid of the shell, and I'll get rid of the loft. And what I'll even do is I'll create yet. I need to be able to see these sketches. If you want to see things, if you expand sketches here, you see they've got a line through the eye. It means they're hidden, so you can't see them. It's the same with the origin of things. You can do their group, so their group is hidden. But what I can do is I can create yet another construction plane and drag it out the other way, and then on that one I can sketch possibly. Let's just try something like that. I'm really taxing it now, seeing if it'll do this. So let's see if we can loft that together. So that, and that. And you can see it's trying to do tangency and all sorts of other things. And there's stuff we can press in here. We can change the tangency edges. We can make it a new body. We can make sure it's all connected. We can put a guide curve in, which is another like a spline sketch if you wanted it to follow a specific profile. But you get some really weird shapes. Just turn the sketches off again. And again, if we were to shell that, that would look really cool 3D printed. Yeah. So yeah, lofts are pretty awesome. Let's get rid of all this stuff. Just press and delete on the keyboard to get rid of it all. Right, let's start with something else. What's next? Rib we've had a look at, so I'm going to do hole. Okay, so let's just start off with something that resembles something that needs a hole putting in. I need to turn the sketches back on because I can't see them. Extrude that down to there. And now we can put a hole. So if we click the hole feature and then just click on a face, we can now move this around to where we want the hole. And we can add some dimensions. We can add some dimensions. Make that 90. Make that 80. And there's our hole. And what you can do is you can select a whole bunch of parameters over here. So there's our references, 90 and 80. Our hole diameter is here at 124, so I'm going to make that 15. Tiny little. Press and return closes that for reasons that can't be fathomed. Thanks Autodesk, I appreciate it. And if you just want the depth to be like 20, yeah, press and return does close that function. That's not very good. And then, of course, we can say, we want 118 degrees. For all those who don't know, the tip of a drill is 118 degrees. And, of course, we can have flat bottom or pointy. We can have countersunk, and then we can drag out the size of the countersink. Drag out the size of the hole. You can do all this stuff in this menu, or you can do it on here. And, okay, there we go. So there's our hole. And if we do what we learned, tools, what was it? There, it was that one, and then we drag that back. You can now see that our hole is pretty much a hole. And if we wanted to go into threads, we could thread it and stuff like that. I'm not going to do that because it's all just things that if you play with this stuff and just mess about with it, you'll probably learn more than watching this video. Let's face it, anybody can learn more than watching this video. But yeah, so that's hole. What else am I going to do? I'm going to do pattern. Now, pattern is a way to copy things. Why is it not called copy things? Why is it called pattern? It's called pattern because we can do a few things with it. We can literally say pattern this face and this face and this face. Okay, how do I want to pattern it? I would like 4 copies of it. I would like them to be maybe 20 mil. apart, and maybe 20 mil that way. And we have to select the directions. So if we select an edge and we drag out, you can see there's our 3. And if we select our other edge, I want to select the other edge, please. I don't want it to be. Thanks, Autodesk. That really helps. There it is. So that's our 3 by 3. So I'm going to change that to 3 by 4, and then we can turn off some of these ticks to make it look like what we want. And now we've patterned it. So instead of having to insert a whole bunch of holes, you know, if you know you want 4 fixing holes, 1 in each corner, and you know what size, you can pattern it. I'll just get rid of that pattern. Because one of the other things you can do is you can do a circular pattern. Now it's not on this top menu. It's down here under pattern, circular pattern, and you can do a pattern to path as well. So if you like draw a sketch in there, you can use that sketch to pattern along. So if we do a circular pattern of these faces again, it's probably going to ask me where the axis is, and I'm probably going to have to select there. And you can see there's the one, there's the other one, and there's that one. And if I change this to be not full circle, that's better. Change it to be on an angle. We can then see how many. Sorry, the angle is there. There we go. And then we can add more. So if I add 3, if I add 3, that'll be good. There we go. There's 4 and 5 in. So we can circular pattern, and we can do things like that. If you play with those commands, you'll see exactly how they work. But these things are all there to help create geometry faster. What else is left in here? We have hole, pattern, and mirror. So again, if I was to sketch on this top face, no, delete. If I was to, did you see what I did there? I accidentally clicked that plane, not that face. So I click on that face and I do another rectangle like that, and then extrude it up like this. You might think you want that on the other side, right? Well, maybe, but maybe not. What you may need is not a construction plane, a mid plane. That would probably be better. From there and there, there's our mid plane. You may want to mirror this feature. So we can do that by going to mirror, and it says, what do you want to mirror? I want to mirror this. And what do you want to use as the mirror? I want to use that. So what we could do is we can go through. I don't want faces, I want features. Can I select that feature there from the tree? There we go. So we've now got a mirror, and if I hit OK, we've now got 2. But you'll notice down here, if I do an edit feature, we only change 1, and when we click OK, the mirror makes it happen. So I hope that's been a little bit more insightful for the commands you can use to create stuff. Next time, hopefully, we'll look at some of the modify things. We've already looked at fillet and stuff and shell. So we look at some of the modify things. I'm trying to keep it interesting and moving forwards. I don't just want to like model blooming a super complicated thing that nobody knows how to do. The entire point in these videos is so that you can pick up the commands and use them yourself to create whatever you want. As per usual, if you've got any questions, put them in the comments. Yes, I know I created this video minutes after the last one, but you know, work and stuff means I've got to do it. Please don't comment on that. I'm not really that interested. Again, as usual, I'm not interested in comments about the crappy models I create. The entire point is so that you go away and create your own models. Okay? So until next time, I've been Steve. Thanks for listening.